Davis.
Here.
Fraz.
Here.
Hanson. Hernandez.
Here.
O'Shea.
Here.
Iqbal.
Here.
Kenyon.
Here.
Caius. Kopi. Leonard. Lewis. Martin. Molina. Sanchez. Shefflo. Silva. Sterrett. Sturgis. Thomas. Weber. Wegman. Winnicki.
We can always count on Parker to be here. They have a little trouble with the latter part of the alphabet, it seems. Is there any public comment? Nobody signed up. Thank you very much. Okay, a presentation approval of minutes from August 13th, 2019. I'd like to move it. Mr. Iqbal moves it. Mr. Fraz seconds. Discussion on the minutes. All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Presentation approval of bills and commissioners per diem for August 2019. Mr. Davis moves it. Mr. Iqbal seconds. Is there discussion on this? Roll call.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Fraz.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
O'Shea.
Yes.
Iqbal.
Yes.
Kopi. Leonard. Lewis. Martin. Molina. Sanchez.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Wegman. Winnicki.
Yes.
Stands approved. Okay, under land acquisition 2732, resolution authorizing staff to acquire parcels being sold by the county at a tax sale. These are usually small parcels. They will be under $400. Is that it?
Well, it gives the staff authority to stay under the $2,000.
Okay.
But what we'd be doing is paying the county's contracted service for whatever their charge to the county is for managing the tax sale property. So right now it's about $512.
These pieces of property would all be next to a forest reserve and would match into it. Would somebody like to move that?
Question. In regards to the properties, is this systematic where we purchased in lieu of in essence of the postal carriers, buy the properties. And I'm wondering if it's systematic where we won't have an opportunity to do our diligence, get involved in the property and environmental property.
What the county's agreed to do is to allow us to put a hold on the property. They're going to work with our staff to identify the properties that we're interested in. Again, like President Kane said, the authority for the staff has to be adjacent to an existing preserve. We have to do an environmental review or do any due diligence. We will do that. This is just as time is of the essence to be able to put the property on hold. If we have to do that also, we'll be bringing it back to land acquisition the following month, regardless of whatever the process was, just to communicate what the property is and that we were going to move forward with it. But yeah, if we have to do due diligence like environmental review, that will take 3-4 weeks.
So just want staff to get the ball rolling, so to speak. Now, would you like to move this? And a second by Mr. Leonard. Is there any more discussion? They're ready to vote.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Fraz. Hanson. Hernandez. O'Shea. Iqbal. Caius. Kopi. Leonard. Lewis. Martin. Molina. Sanchez.
Yes.
Thomas. Weber.
Yes.
Wegman. Winnicki.
It's approved. Under bids and proposals, resolution authorizing the purchase of a replacement tractor for use of the South Operations Division. Mr. Fraz moves it. Mr. Iqbal seconds. Is there discussion on this? We're ready to vote.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Fraz. Hanson. Hernandez. O'Shea. Iqbal. Caius. Kopi. Leonard. Lewis. Martin. Molina. Sanchez. Shefflo. Thomas.
Yes.
Weber. Wegman. Winnicki.
It's approved. Resolution 2734 authorizing change order number 5 for professional golf course architectural service for Settlers Hill Golf Course Improvement Plan. Mr. Davis would move, Mr. Iqbal would second. Is there discussion on this? We're ready to vote.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Froz.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
O'Shea.
Yes.
Iqbal.
Yes.
Caius.
Yes.
Kopi. Leonard.
Yes.
Lewis. Martin. Molina. Sanchez.
Yes.
Shefflo.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Wakeman. Winnicki.
Stands approved. 2735, resolution authorizing a bid for the replacement of the roof at Tomochichi Lodge and the Freeman Kane Mangrove Forest Preserve. Moved by Mr. Kopi, seconded by Mr. Iqbal. Is there discussion on this? We're ready to vote.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Froz.
Yes.
Hanson. Hernandez. O'Shea.
Yes.
Iqbal.
Yes.
Caius.
Yes.
Kopi. Leonard.
Yes.
Lewis. Martin.
Yes.
Molina. Sanchez.
Yes.
Shefflo.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Wakeman.
It's approved. 2736, resolution authorizing a bid for drainage and drain tile improvement at the Big Rock Fort. Mr. Leonard moves. Mr. Faz seconds. Is there discussion on this? We're ready to vote.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Froz.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Hernandez. O'Shea.
Yes.
Iqbal.
Yes.
Caius.
Yes.
Kopi.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Lewis. Martin.
Yes.
Molina. Sanchez.
Yes.
Shefflo.
Yes.
Silva.
Yes.
Thomas. Weber.
Yes.
Wakeman.
It's approved. 2737, resolution authorizing a bid for drainage and drain tile improvement at the Binney Forest Preserve. Mr. Sanchez moves, Mr. Caius seconds. Is there discussion? We're ready to vote.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Froz.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
O'Shea.
Yes.
Iqbal.
Yes.
Caius.
Yes.
Kopi. Leonard.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Molina. Sanchez.
Yes.
Shefflo.
Yes.
Silva.
Yes.
Thomas. Weber.
Yes.
Wakeman.
It's approved. 2738, resolution authoring a proposal for professional engineering services to develop plans for repairs of the Fabian East Bridge. Mr. Faz, Mr. Iqbal. Is there discussion? We're ready to vote.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Froz.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
O'Shea.
Yes.
Iqbal.
Yes.
Caius.
Yes.
Kopi.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Lewis. Martin.
Yes.
Molina. Sanchez.
Yes.
Shefflo.
Yes.
Silva.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Wakeman.
Yes.
Winnicki.
Yes.
It's approved. 2739, resolution authorizing a bid for the construction of a cold storage building at the Natural Resource Management Facility. Would somebody like to move that? Mr. Sanchez, Mr. Davis, would you discuss this a little bit?
Sure. The first phase was actually completed last year with the construction of the main building, which is not only a small area for office space, but also has a large bay for natural resource operations and some equipment storage, as well as there's a wildlife room in there that our wildlife manager, Bill Grazer, uses for mainly turtles and whatever other animals he has to bring in at the time. So
Sanchez. Guerrero.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Franz. Hanson. Hernandez. O'Shea. Iqbal. Cayos. Kobe. Leonard. Lewis. Martin. Molina. Sanchez. Shefflo. Silva. Surges. Thomas. Weber. Wegman. Winnicki.
Stands approved. 2740, resolution authorizing a proposal for professional services to develop and engineering plans for the Oakhurst Forest Preserve IDNR OSLOG grant-funded redevelopment project. Oh my gosh, okay. Yes. So we have the ladies from Aurora, move and second it. No, Dr. Silva moves, Melina seconds, and followed by our own Teresa Burr. This is a great thing. Improvement in that preserve. Long meeting. Any questions? We're ready to vote. Hi, this is Ellen, how are you? We're ready to vote.
Allen. Guerrero.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Franz. Hanson. Hernandez. O'Shea. Iqbal. Cayos. Kobe. Leonard. Lewis. Martin. Molina. Sanchez. Shefflo. Silva. Surges. Thomas. Weber. Wegman. Winnicki.
It's approved. Yes, please.
I would like to say that this is something that the press should have got a hold of, and I don't believe there's any press here. As when we had our meeting the other day, there was no press on this subject either, but this is something that I wish Daily Herald would talk about, or the Beacon News would talk about, rather than some of these other issues that they
I
continue.
think we can count on a press release, can't we? Look, I guess we'll have to handle our own press because, yes. This is intergovernmental agreements, 2741, resolution authorizing amendment to the Geneva Park District soccer license and user agreement. Who would like to move that? Mr. Weber moves. Mr. Hoshite seconds. Is there discussion? We're ready to vote?
Allen. Guerrero. Davis. Franz. Hanson. Hernandez. O'Shea. Iqbal. Cayos. Kobe. Leonard. Lewis. Martin. Molina. Sanchez. Shefflo. Silva. Surges. Thomas. Weber. Wegman. Winnicki.
It's approved. 2742, resolution authorizing amendment to the St. Charles Park District soccer license and user agreement, moved by Mr. Weber, Mr. Davis. Is there discussion? We're ready?
Allen. Guerrero. Davis. Franz. Hanson. Hernandez. O'Shea. Iqbal. Cayos. Kobe. Leonard. Lewis. Martin. Molina. Sanchez. Shefflo. Silva. Surges. Thomas. Weber. Wegman. Winnicki.
It's approved. 2743.
Mr. Kane?
Yes?
On that last motion, John, were you involved in the festivities on Saturday evening, celebrating the 40th anniversary of the St. Charles soccer? I was not. You were not. What a fun time. What a fun time. Pardon me? Yeah, I did not play this year's game. That was last week, but for those of us that remember back that far when soccer was especially out here in the area before the soccer fields were all
standard for element municipal retirement fund participation. Would you explain that?
Sure. We've obviously been part of IMRF for years, and Tracy's here to answer some questions if we need more in-depth questions, but we currently operate under the 600 annual standard, which means that an employee must stay under 600 hours or be enrolled in IMRF. And currently we're in the 600-hour range, and that creates some challenges for us when it comes to employees that might want to work, like especially part-time employees that might want to work more hours, and we can't because we can't move them into IMRF because it would be a budgeting funding issue at that point. So we're recommending to move to the 1,000-hour standard from here moving forward. Current employees would be grandfathered at 600 hours, so it would not impact current employees. Any new employees being brought in, we shift to the 1,000 standard, which means that they can work up to the 1,000 hours before having to be enrolled in IMRF. This will allow us to better manage our part-time hours and our budget.
Mr. Colby?
Can the current employees that are on the 600, can they opt into the 1,000 hours in lieu of a new employee?
No. Once you're in whatever standard, you have to stay there.
Would we would there be a potential liability in regards to that discrimination, perhaps?
I don't believe it's a discrimination. It's a policy set forth by IMRF.
A little bit worried about that. And then the other thing is we're currently engaged in a, I don't know where it goes from here, but at the county board level, we're engaged in a potential challenge with the IMRF. Has the IMRF brought into the forest preserve the same unwarranted increase in costs as they have with the town board or the county board?
All agencies follow the same policies in IMRF, so yes, whatever the percentage standard is that's come forth as an increase, we comply.
That's all.
We don't make the rules, we just live by
I
it.
just have questions. Thank you.
Now, we will need a motion for this. Mr. Hanson moves. Or do you got another question?
Just a question for reference. I asked Monica before the meeting, and she explained the element where current employees are grandfathered in. Approximately how many employees do we have that would fall between that 600 and 1,000-hour range right now?
Well, so which ones are above 600 hours per time to get the IMRF benefits, Tracy?
If you're talking about the employees that fit in between that over 600 hours, we have one part-time employee. It's our wildlife technician position. Everything else is like our seasonals and our campground attendants and things like that.
Thank you.
That position is considered a year-round position.
Yeah, that's, and we went into that position knowing it would be an IMRF eligible position.
Okay. Mr. Surges?
We had looked at this Human Resources Committee at the Portland County Board at the request of the Sheriff's Department. And one of the obstacles that I believe Ron was trying to overcome was that he uses retirees on a part-time basis. And we were attempting to bounce that 600 hours to 1,000 hours to allow some additional time for retirees.
since we've opened the door, I'm just curious, with IMRF changing the guidelines for funding, what is the financial impact to the Forest Preserve's budget? How much of an increase is the Forest Preserve looking at?
I'll have to defer to Ken on that.
We budgeted a half year in regards to the potential increase. And I would say, I mean, off the top of my head, I don't remember since it's been 6 months ago. But I guess I would say within the $20,000 to $30,000 range for us.
Sheffler?
So 2 questions. How do the Forest Preserve Commissioners fit into these standards?
The only commissioner that was determined warranted that they put in the hours to justify getting IRF is the president.
Okay.
And the president is currently under 600 hours and would be grandfathered there.
So do we have a non-grandfathered option? I mean, it strikes me as unusual that we would, if the 1,000 hours is the new standard, why we couldn't bring all our employees up to that 1,000. I mean, don't they get fired at the end of the year anyway and then rehired in the spring, or what's?
Well, right, if it's a seasonal position, they are, terminated out of the system and then brought back in next year.
At 1,000?
Well, again, this is an IRF standard. You've asked the question, if we have a 600-hour employee that wants to work 800 hours, can we do that? And the answer was no, you can't. They have to stay in the standard in which they were originally hired under.
Even if it's a seasonal position that ends?
Correct. Correct. And if you bring them in the next year, they're still a 600-hour employee.
Yeah, they were very specific. It's current employees or former employees. They have to stay under that 600 hour. And it's, it doesn't affect us in the same way that IMRF is looking at it, but it is a pension protection policy. So if you hire somebody in at that 600 hours and then all of a sudden you raise it to 1,000 hours and they're no longer eligible, that's not fair to them, is the way that they.
Well, they're under 600, they're not eligible. So is it more the people that work more than 600 but less than 1,000 are grandfathered into the IMRF? I mean, those are the people that receive a benefit. If I'm working 500, I don't get a benefit. I don't get a benefit if I'm working 500, and under the new standard, I don't get a benefit even if I work 1,000.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, with the policy that they have in place doesn't really match our current situation. I would love there to be like an opt-in, but there's not, so what we have to work with is.
So if I'm working 500, I can't go over 6, and I do go over 6, I get a pension.
Could,
Yeah.
in theory, go over 600 hours. It's just that then the employee has to pay into IMRF and the employer pays into IMRF on their behalf.
All right, thanks.
So, again, like Tracy said, you have to look at this more as a protection for the employee, that their benefit program is being protected. They're not being shifted to another hourly standard, and then they fall under the threshold that you can get the benefit anymore.
They're not actually getting it other than this one person perhaps, but
No, we still need a motion and a second. Dr. Rickville moves.
Second.
Doug Shuffle seconds. All in favor? You gotta do a roll call. She loves roll call. You almost let me.
Allen? Guerrero?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Frost? Hanson? Hernandez? Hosheit? Iqbal? Caius? Copey? Leonard? Lewis? Martin? Molina? Sanchez? Shefflo? Silva? Surges? Thomas? Weber? Wegman? Winnicki?
It's approved. We have no need for a closed session. Under communications, just want to call your attention to the grand opening on September 21st at 10 a.m. till noon of the Hosheit Forest Preserve. Food will be provided, and I've already noticed Mr. Smith and Joe Heyman that there's food going to be provided. It should be a good time. A lot of people have been invited, and it's a great forest preserve. It's it's something that the people of Wayne and the horse community really love, and they've helped us do the work there. We need a motion to put the department reports on file. Mrs. Allen moves it, seconded by Mr. Caius. All in favor, say aye. Now we need a motion to adjourn. Representative Fernandez moves to adjourn. Is there a second? Penny Wagman seconds.